Fast forward to 90 seconds. We're now live on Facebook. Hi in a restaurant. We'll have to catch the replay. It's all good, Dan. Enjoy dinner. Go Suns. Dylan, nice to see you. We are now live on Facebook and Periscope. We are now live on YouTube. I just saw it jump up. So greeting from Bledsoe's Hair Salon. What's up, JT? By the way, have the lobster. It's the best. You'll never have. It's never been better. You'll never have it at a better location. So have the lobster. Okay, so we're gonna. I'll wait about another 20 seconds till this gets going. Well, we got some fun stuff to talk about. Let me just copy and paste this real quick, and then we are all set to go. Man, I can't wait. So, welcome to Valley of the Suns Live. I'll answer that question in a second. My name is Adam Maines, your site editor and your host of this show. We are here every week, Monday, 6 p.m. Come rain or shine, unless I am sick, which, hey, it happens every once in a while. But I am so excited. We've got so much to talk about. We've got a game coming up here in an hour, so we're going to go right up to tip-off. The Suns are not a super team yet, but boy, does it feel like they're getting closer. Doesn't it feel like they're getting closer? It really does. So I keep looking over to my left here because I want to read you guys a stat that I saw on Twitter a little bit ago that I'm going to share with you. When Devin Booker scores 1 point tonight, his first point will move him up a notch in the all-time scorers list. And I actually don't know the number that he's at right now. I can tell you how many points he scored, but I don't know which number in terms of the all-time ranking that Devin Booker is at. But he is currently at this moment tied with a gentleman named Bones McKinney. I've never heard of him either. Well, Bones played from Bones played from 1946 to 1952. So it's been a while since Bones played. I'm not even sure if the gentleman is still alive. Actually, no. He passed away on May 16th, 1997 at the age of 78 and 135 days. Facts you never knew that you were going to learn. So Bones played from 1946 to 1952, from age 28 to 33. He played from 46 to 51 with the Washington Senators. Like that's what they're called, the Washington Senators of the Basketball Association of America. And then he played for the Boston Celtics from the middle of 50 to 1952, and played for Boston. Played in 97 games with Boston. So he has a career scoring total of 1,091 points, which is exactly where Devin Booker is at. 1,091 points in the NBA. And his career high was 12.7 per game. Well, in the NBA, his career high was 6.9 with Boston from 50 to 51. But in terms of his professional playing career, in 1948-49, his career high was 12.7. So I can tell you, this guy retired before either of my parents were born, probably before a lot of you, if not all of you, were even born. So it's just kind of a cool stat. I saw it on Twitter. I want to share that. So Devin Booker is currently tied with Bones McKinley. I wrote McKinley, but it's actually McKinney. You can look him up on Basketball Reference. McKinney. And when Devin Booker scores just one more point, he will pass good old Bones. He had a nickname, but I won't share it on this blog. So I just wanted to let you know. I just thought that was a fun stat to share. Old Bones McKinney. A name that you probably thought you'd never hear, and he probably had no clue what a blog was when he passed away. I don't think in 97 they existed, so he had no idea that he would ever be mentioned in this kind of a conversation. But there we go. So, fact of the night. Welcome to Valley of the Suns Live. Love in the hearts. Please like, please retweet, and share. When I turn this into a post, please share that with all your friends. Let them know. Shoot some text right now. Be like, hey, Valley of the Suns Live is on. Why aren't you watching? We got an hour until tip-off. What else are you going to do? Watch Valley of the Suns Live. Let's talk the Suns. We got so much to talk about. So, old Bones McKinney. By the way, he was born on January 1st, 1919. So, it was very easy to calculate his age when you were born at that time. Good morning, Outcrop. How are you doing? So, the next thing I wanted to talk about. What's up, Mr. Rich? All the Australians are here. I'm loving it. Hey, hey, hey. So, the next thing I want to talk about is Step Back. If you don't follow Step Back on Twitter, I recommend it. They do a lot of cool NBA-related stuff. Step Back released their 2018 bid board today, their first one, 1.0. We did share it on Twitter. And they released their top 10 players. Obviously, that's what a bid board is. Number one, they said Luka Doncic. So, at least, that doesn't necessarily mean that Luka's going to go number one. Well, we're going to get rid of him, and I'll talk about that next. I just wanted to talk about the big board because right now, I mean, even though the Suns are actually playing fairly decently, it's still we've got a really good shot of still getting a top 5 pick, which I truly hope we do. I hope the Suns are very competitive, but end up with the top 5 pick. So they've got Luka Doncic going number one. Not quite a point guard, not quite a shooting guard, but a little bit in between. Melbourne Cup. Wait a second. No Works Day, Melbourne Cup Day. It's famous. Why don't we get the Super Bowl off? Or the day after? I mean, it's just like the country should shut down for the Super Bowl instead. I don't know. Anyway, it's just a complaint I've got. In fact, I believe that we should get the World Series off too in the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup. Why do I have to work for any sporting event? I should be able to be paid to watch sports. Anyway, so Luka Doncic, they've got us number one. Like I said, not quite a shooting guard, not quite a point guard. Definitely has the shooting ability of a shooting guard, has the passing ability of a point guard, and potentially has the defensive ability of a small forward. Just in terms of his size, his height, and athleticism. Not quite sure how exactly he would fit in with the Suns with Devin Booker on the roster, but presumably on offense he would play point guard, and then the Suns would have to do something different in terms of defense. It looks like he's going to be the number one pick, and that just, I'm okay with that. Right now, the Suns definitely, what's holding them back, in my opinion, is the fact that they don't have a strong point guard. Strong traditional point guard, which again I'm anti-tradition, but I'll take what I prefer. I'm definitely, you're making my point. Game is at 7, Noah. So I'm anti-traditional system, but what the Suns need is a point guard who can distribute. And right now they don't have a point guard that can distribute well enough. Tyler Ulis does appear to be that kind of distributor player, but because of his height, he really can't score. His shooting has just been awful in his NBA career so far. In fact, while we're talking, let me just look it up. And then certainly his defense is something that leaves a lot to be to be hopeful about. And again, it's because of his height. So right now, he's shooting 34.8% this year. Remember, he was a fantastic shooter in college. I don't have those stats here. Last year, he at least shot 42, which was still super low. But now he's shooting 34. So people want to know, well, why isn't Tyler Ulis playing? Mike James isn't all that much better, but when you're shooting 34%, and let me just see what James' shooting percentage is real quick. James is shooting at 37, so at least James is shooting about 3%, or excuse me, 5% higher than Ulis. But that's why the Suns need a point guard, and that's why I've been on the Luka Doncic bandwagon from the beginning. Don't get me wrong. Although I've said many times I'm just kind of anti-drafting point guard high. But the thing is this offense and what the players the Suns have in terms of Booker, Chris, Warren, Jackson, and Bender, those guys are all high-flying, athletic kind of players. Bender's better flip. I want Bender to start. We will definitely talk about that. They've got a lot of high-flying, high-scoring capable players, and with Tyler Ulis, when the point guard can't score as well, therefore the defense is able to sag, and all of a sudden these players really can't get up in the way they need to be. So I would love Doncic. It would be an amazing backcourt. It really would be. Defense would be rough, although Devin Booker has proven that Jay Toronto knows how to teach defense, because all of a sudden Devin Booker is looking like a very solid defensive player, and Toronto has even said that Booker is trying harder on defense and is really trying to work. So it just goes to show you, I hated Earl Watson. I hated him. Probably a decent, good man, although his comments that he made last week, where he took credit for Devin Booker, basically. I mean, it's just the guy. It shows the guy just doesn't have a clue. Toronto, can you make that any whiter? It's more like Toronto is this much better. I'm concerned about Chris so far. What's his stats? He's averaging 6.6 points. I actually tweeted that out last night. He's just not showing up. I do think a good point guard would help, but it's just not working for him right now. But again, so people have been saying that maybe Luka Doncic isn't that great of a defensive player. I would love to see him, learn under Jay Triano. Oh, and so it goes to show you with Earl Watson. Earl Watson was all talk, no coach. Jay Triano's coaching. Everybody complained, myself included. Devin Booker can't play defense. Well, no, it's probably the Amari Stoudemire syndrome, where nobody actually taught me how to play defense. Earl Watson never taught Devin Booker how to play defense, or never put him in the right spot, or what have you. Whatever coaching that he has actually done, that was the problem. Now all of a sudden Devin Booker can play defense. Fine, Luka Doncic can't play defense. I'd like to see him play it under Jay Toronto, because I have a feeling he'd probably be a fairly decent defensive point guard. And again, or whatever position you would play. With his post kind of gets the ball stripped every time. Yeah, well, and I think Marquise's, we're off topic for a split second. I think Marquise's problem is it's between the ears. It's just between the ears. I just feel he complains so much. And I could be wrong. I think he's got a confidence problem. And, I think he probably was very high on himself. And then Earl Watson really, was high. I mean, remember, he started game 8, if I recall correctly, last year in his rookie season, and never relinquished the role under Earl Watson. And so he probably was kind of high on himself. Now things are kind of starting to slide. And again, he still complains. All those problems. I mean, he just stops. He just stops playing and stares at a ref, or it's just shut up and play. Yeah, well, and he is still young. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, to be honest, the way I look at it is, the younger you are, shouldn't you be even quieter because you're really just trying to fit in, do well, impress, improve? Shouldn't you have at least a slight level of wanting to let the veterans kind of run the show instead? But you know what? They don't bench him, and I know that Earl Watson did for a couple games, and Chris goes, well, I felt uncomfortable. Who gives a crap? You felt uncomfortable. Why does he start? Yeah, exactly. Why complain? Well, again, I think he probably knows in the back of his mind, I'm not doing well. I'm probably going to go to the bench. I don't want to go to the bench. And I just think it's between his ears. The same confidence issue that we thought that Dragon Bender had last year, I think is now disappearing with Dragon Bender as he's starting to look better and better. And it's now starting to rise in Marquise Chris's eyes. By the way, I keep forgetting to look up YouTube. Hi, YouTube. I've got you guys on 2 cameras, and I end up staring at the Twitter and Periscope one because I can see your comments. Actually, let me pull up. All right, so nobody's chatting over here on YouTube. If you guys want to chat on YouTube, I can see those too, and I will definitely respond. I just have to look at myself, and I don't like doing that. Better and Len do work together, and I'm going to talk about Len. Let's get back real quick to this big board, just because, again, Luka Doncic, according to the Stepbacks 2018 big board 1.0 today, said that Luka is the number 1 of the big board. It doesn't mean the number 1 overall pick, but he is the most talented, is what they're saying. Number 2 is Marvin Bagley Jr., or I don't think he has a junior, but Marvin Bagley, power forward. Marvin looks like the kind of player that I do think, he's a little bit more proven. I do think, too, that I would, the Suns need a center or a point guard. We don't necessarily need a power forward, but I would take him and trade either Chris or Bender, but specifically Chris, to be honest, and then still kind of go with a more of a bigger center. I mean, again, if Dragon Bender can eventually become a center, then I think that would be perfect as well. He's got to get a little bit quicker on defense, but he's definitely willing to get. We'll talk about that. I promise. He's definitely willing to to bang around a little bit. So, number 3, they have Michael Porter Jr. If Michael Porter Jr. is by far the best available player when the Suns pick, you got to take him. But then you got to figure out something to do with T.J. Warren and Josh Jackson, because you can't have 3 small forwards. Already, one of them will eventually have to be traded, probably within the next 3 years, max, probably within 2 years. And so, unless one of them is absolutely willing to come off the bench, which would be perfect, truthfully, just because you would need and love to have a 6th man coming off the bench that's a proven scorer, and either one of them probably will be proven. Obviously, T.J. Warren has already proven that he can score very well. But Josh Jackson, we assume, and especially his shot, is looking pretty good. Maybe not structurally, but it's going in, and he's got the confidence in it. That one of them, if one of them is willing to come off the bench, then you'd have them both. But you got to just assume one of them will move. And again, if they draft Michael Porter Jr., then one of them is absolutely gone. Number 5, they have Mo Bamba. Perfect. I would take his. Excuse me. Number 4, they have DeAndre Ayton. Number 5, Mo Bamba. Perfect. So, again, center right there. Then you don't really have to worry about moving anybody initially. Number 6, Jaren Jackson. Power forward again. You then got to move somebody. Number 7 is Colin Sexton. If Colin, and again, this is a big board, so certainly by the time the draft comes around, this could be all out of whack. But if Colin is the best guy available, I would rather take, unless Luka Doncic does look like literally the second coming of Jason Kidd, then yeah, I absolutely want him. But I mean, if Colin is absolutely the best player available, you need a point guard, and 7 isn't too high in my opinion for a point guard. Number 8, Miles Bridges, small forward. Unless that guy looks like he's going to be stud, I would trade out or I would trade that pick and look for a veteran at that point. Number 9, Robert Williams, center, and then number 10, Wendell Carter, center. Again, unless those guys look like, holy crap, I cannot believe they fell this far, and the Suns drafted 9th or 10th, again, I would trade out. If I'm the Suns, literally, I'm looking at presuming that at least the top 5 all look to be, come draft time, sure things. I would select Luka, Marvin, Michael, DeAndre, or Mo. And if I'm 6th and those 5 guys are gone, I trade that pick. I sincerely, and I'm saying that right now, we'll say November 6th, I would trade that pick. Because you're looking, unless Ryan McDonough is positive, I cannot believe that so-and-so slipped. This is going to be the second coming of Devin Booker, of Clyde Drexler, whatever. I trade that pick. Oh, I did say Mo. Mo Bamba. I just said Mo. I'm saying him 5th. He is, according to Stepback's big board, he's 5th. So if Luka Doncic, Marvin Bagley, Michael Porter Jr., DeAndre Ayton, or Mo Bamba are gone, and it looks like, hey, Jaren Jackson, Colin Sexton, Michael Bridges, Robert Williams, Wendell Carter, they're nice, trade those picks. Or trade whatever pick the Suns have there, and then I trade for a young, proven commodity. Or even, a mid-20s proven commodity, but somebody that's like, okay, this guy's going to help the team because he is that good. At this point, there's no point in just taking a draft pick because, it's just a young player, blah, blah, blah. The Suns, at some point, need to improve. Now, here's the thing. There's a good chance that not only they have theirs, which is likely top 10, and very possibly top 5, in which case the trade out is moot. But Miami's pick could very well be theirs to have. And then, of course, there's, in trying to trade Eric Bledsoe, there's a chance they get another pick. I mean, my fingers are crossed for the Brooklyn pick. You never know. But in which case, if you do end up with multiple picks and you've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you can move up, then perfect. I'm all for that. I would trade 3 picks for Luka Doncic with the way he looks right now. Or Marvin Bagley, again, power forward is a little iffy for me, but if Marvin Bagley looks like he's going to be a Tim Duncan or Amari Stoudemire, just somebody who's going to score you 20, 25 points over the next, 10 years, and take him. But, I would trade him. I would trade 3 picks. I would trade, just for the sake of argument, the Phoenix, the Miami, and then, a 3rd pick somewhere in the 1st round. And I would trade it up to get one of them. But if you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and nobody is willing to trade back because they're like, hey, we want these guys too, we think they're proven, then I trade for somebody proven. Just get me somebody right now that's, say, 24, 25, 2, 3 years older than, 24, 3, 4 years older than Devin Booker, but that's proven. Hopefully it's already under contract, and that okay, he's ours until 30, and by that point, you've got 4 or 5 years to play with. 6, again, depending on if he's 24, 4, 5, 6 years to play with, and then you've got a team you can build around because you've got a core that is effective. If you're drafting Colin Sexton and you're crossing your fingers that he turns out okay, I don't like that. It's not worth the risk at this point. You don't just need to add a young player. So anyway, that's their top 10. Again, I highly recommend follow the Step Back on Twitter. Great basketball stuff. Again, just going through it one more time. We'll move on. Luka Doncic, number 1 on the big board. Marvin Bagley, Michael Porter Jr., DeAndre Ayton, Mo Bamba, and those are the 5 that everybody wants. And then Jaren Jackson so far. Jaren Jackson 6, Colin Sexton, Miles Bridges, Robert Williams, and Wendell Carter. All right, so let's just move on to something else. Eric Bledsoe has been brought up several times already, so let's talk about him. And actually, I always like to erase my notes so I don't look at the same thing over and over and over again. So Eric Bledsoe is back in the news. No, he's not going to be a member of the Suns again. But he is going to work out with the team, and he's going to be, at least he's going to be working with the Suns staff, trainers, and on the practice courts. Now, I did retweet a couple days ago. I didn't take this video, but somebody tweeted out video of Eric Bledsoe practicing at Arizona State. Let's go Sun Devils. So he's been working at the ASU Wells Fargo Arena. We all knew that he was in town, but it's just where he was practicing. Until I saw that video, I had no idea. But they did announce that he will be allowed to work out on, Talking Stick Resort Arena. Can he work in Carl's Jr.? Yeah, I'm sure he could. But at that point, even if he never played again with his wealth, he can just buy Carl's Jr. So he's going to be working back out with the franchise at least. And so that's kind of interesting. By the way, I changed subject. So please like, please retweet, please share. Loving it. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Pete, trust me, he's wanted. There's no way he's not wanted. Who knows how many calls the Suns got, or Alex Len at least, how many calls his representation received over the summer. You know, Eric Bledsoe has interest. It's just a question of, yeah, absolutely, people want him. It's just about right now it's just about how much of the Suns willing to take. Oh no, I don't want Reggie Jackson at all. Same player, far worse attitude. And smaller, true, too. I mean, I don't want him at all, and that's why that trade didn't go through. Suns don't want Reggie Jackson. And John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports 98.7, they even said, he even said the Suns do not want him. So, the 3-team trade, I kind of liked him, and if Detroit really wants Bledsoe and they really want to get rid of Reggie Jackson, find a team that wants Reggie Jackson. But the question is, who the hell wants Reggie Jackson? I mean, if he could hit 3 home runs in October, he'd have been gone already. But the fact that he can't, that's why he's still there. I mean, Patty Mills is a throw-in. I'm not going to trade Eric Bledsoe for him, or Seth Curry. I mean, they're not built around kind of pieces, and they're definitely not tradable, too. Anyone will like this for Reed would be decent. It'd be okay. I do think the Suns think they can get more. With Elvis Suns scout, we might as well just explore for the Robinson. Exactly, because I think Moutier and Nene are on the on the table. I think if the Suns called Denver today and said, "Hey, we'll take that trade," Denver's like, done. And so because of that, if the call is made in a month and Denver still says done, then why take it now? If that trade is available in 2 months, why take it now? Greg Monroe be okay. I just don't know if it fits the Suns. Orlando Metric for Fournier, but okay, what are you doing with Devin Booker? He doesn't play point. Bled Tyson picks for Bookie. All right, so but Moutier. Yes, today, but the issue with Moutier is that he's still so young and it's on his rookie contract. A, it saves you money because Reggie Jackson's going to cost a lot, and B, you hope with his age that he still has growth. All right, so why not trade for Boogie for 2 reasons. First off, he's an unrestricted free agent, so why would you trade anything for him? I would trade a 2nd-round pick for him, but if you're running the risk of him being leaving as an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, then you don't do anything. And B, just for the sake of argument, he's under contract. I don't want to trade picks for him. Because A, I don't think that New Orleans necessarily needs picks. And, they probably, if they're going to trade him and keep Davis, then I don't think they necessarily need picks. I think they're more worried about staying competitive. They don't want to rebuild and ruin part of Davis's, prime. So if Bledsoe going Boogie ain't coming, well, not necessarily. I mean, you never know. Think about if Bledsoe's traded to Cleveland. Boogie's not going to Cleveland. I mean, I suppose actually when LeBron James leaves, if they trade Kevin Love, it's possible. But I mean, it just depends on where Bledsoe goes because he's under contract for this season plus next. But the other thing is I wouldn't want to trade picks for him because I don't, for that reason. And then from the Suns' perspective, I don't think the Suns, they want to trade picks for players that you can't get with players, for a veteran that you can't get with players and not picks. I think Boogie could be had for the right package of players, again, because I think they're wanting to win. So use those picks. And here's caveat number 3. Malcolm Brogdon player. Oh, dude, I would take them in a heartbeat. But caveat number 3 is that you probably want to save. You definitely want to save your own pick. The Suns want to save their pick. There's no argument with that because they realize it's probably going to be very good. But then you probably want to keep at least Miami's on hand or another pick on hand to allow you the opportunity to trade up if you need to. Let's say for the sake of argument, the Suns have the number 2 overall pick. And, insert team here has number 1. If the Suns really want Luka Doncic, would you trade the number 1 pick, or the number 2 pick, and let's just say the Miami pick is 8th. Would you trade those up to move up 1 spot to get Luka Doncic? Hell yeah. I certainly would. So if you lose that Miami pick because you traded for Boogie, but you really want Doncic, now what are you going to trade? And so somebody, else might be able to kind of put together a slightly more enticing package. Well, we just lost on a Doncic. And now you don't want Marvin Bagley. You don't want any of those centers because now you've got Now you've got Boogie Cousins. So again, that point is moot though because he's an unrestricted free agent, so you're not trading for him anyway, no matter what. But again, for the sake of argument, if you were under contract, I think the Suns right now they want to keep both of those picks and try to add a third to kind of guarantee them the best possible shot of trading up for number one. Well, what dream is free here? I'm just stating, in terms of the situation that could happen. The Suns could have the number 2 overall pick. They could have the number 3 overall pick. And if Doncic is going number 1 and the team that is picking doesn't necessarily need a point guard, they're more interested in taking a big, but you can guarantee yourself Doncic. I mean, it makes sense to be able to trade the Phoenix pick, the Miami pick, and say the Cleveland pick. You know what I mean? Yeah, now, again, now here's the dreaming that's free part. I've said this in the past, and I saw it on Twitter a couple days ago. Or maybe I heard it. I forget. It was somewhere that it was mentioned. Wouldn't it be amazing if the Suns could get the Brooklyn pick and have 2 top 5 picks, and boom, now you can get Doncic and Bagley, something like that. And it's like, of course. I mean, now you'd be set. I mean, I said that a long time ago. I wrote a post about that, about the Brooklyn pick the moment the Isaiah Thomas trade went down, and I said, hey, that's could be the Suns' opportunity to get that Brooklyn pick is to help Cleveland win another title, trade him Bledsoe, trade him whatever. And that would be the dream. Hey, maybe whoever I heard that said that read the blog and just subconsciously remembered, and I just wanted to be cited. Just give me some credit. I want people to read the blog. Watch us get the next pick and it be 10th. Well, okay, so even if it's 10th, though, they have been, and Cleveland is they shouldn't be in a rush to trade that pick right now. And to be honest, the Suns might have their eye on that pick. And, Ryan McDonough might be like, that's what I want. And so he has to be patient about it because that might have to be a trade deadline kind of deal where maybe maybe Cleveland is 5, 6, 7 games out of first place. Who knows? Maybe they're huddling around, a 55% win percentage. I mean, just maybe things aren't going well. Well, thank you. Maybe things aren't going well, and they, at that point, they're like, we know LeBron is gone. We just want one more title, which, again, is what I wrote about last summer. We just want to get one more title under, with LeBron on the roster. So let's just make this happen. And, there you go. But the Suns just have to wait them out. They're not that good. What are they, 3-6? Let me check the standings. I think they're like 3-6. They're not that great. Let me just give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, they're 3-6. They've got a 33% win percentage. And so let's see. Right now they would have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They'd have the 5th pick. Well, we're 4-6. Yeah, they're 3-6. They would have the 5th pick. So, and they're not going to win much. I mean, they're 3-6 right now. They'll probably be. I don't know their schedule, but they'll be a 21 team. They're not going to be great. Well, I wouldn't be shocked if Brooklyn won tonight, but I don't think so. Yeah, Atlanta, aren't they both? Don't they have 1 win? Oh no, Atlanta has 2. Dallas only has 1, and the Kings only have 1. So Dallas is 1-10. The Kings are 1-8. Can you believe the Thunder are only 4-5? The Thunder are 4-5. How does that happen? Dallas, yeah, with the Suns part with Russell. Oh, with the Nets part for Russell. So I heard last week, the last time the Suns played, I thought you meant the Cavs, who have the same record as the Suns now. What do you mean? What did I say? Repeat what I said. I might have said the wrong thing. What did you mean about the Cavs? Or what I said about the Cavs? But no, I heard last week when the Suns last played the Nets that the Nets have no interest in trading Russell. Like, he's a core piece. And he's young. I would more than take that trade. You guys might be a little bit behind me or something. I'm a little off. See Anthony's ejection last night? Bloody horrible. I didn't. I didn't see that. I don't know if maybe you guys are just, you're having a type, so it's just a little bit slower. My mind is kind of going quick, but I'm a little off on a couple of those comments. Who would you choose, Frank or Malcolm? I would take Malcolm. Absolutely. But he'd be a backup, I guess, but, I would still take him. The guy, He can shoot. Dude can score. Well, okay, so actually my next topic was and please, thank you for the hearts. Please like, please retweet. I'm loving this. We're obviously live on Twitter and Periscope. We're also live on YouTube. Sub YouTube. We got a bunch of people watching today. This is fantastic. Loving it. And I see the live chat on YouTube as well. Sorry about the Russell. Oh, yeah. So I would take Russell in a heartbeat, especially for Bledsoe. But again, I heard last week that they have no interest in trading him, and I don't blame him. I mean, the guy's good. And he's what, 21? How old is he? Does anybody? Why doesn't it say D'Angelo? He is 21. Yeah, he's 21. So it's like, why would you trade him for a 27-year-old? We should have plus with the rest of them. Yeah. Well, again, the Suns screwed that up. They should have traded Bledsoe. Again, Ryan McDonough could be waiting for something in particular. He could be waiting for that Brooklyn pick. He really could be. He could be waiting Cleveland out for that Brooklyn pick, hoping for them to get desperate. Which somebody said they have the same record as the Suns, Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland is 4-6. They could get desperate. And would you not take, if you got that Brooklyn pick, would you not, for the time they had the phone, they have pounced on him, yeah. Could you imagine Russell? Oh, it'd be a blast. That would be a hell of a backcourt. A lot of scoring. Be a lot of fun. And with Ulis backing him up, be a blast. But would you not take, and I know you're all going to say yes, you know, for the Brooklyn pick, take on Rose and Fry. I would even take one more on. And then you would just like waive Rose. Derrick Rose. Let me see. Because I want his contract. Because I think he was signed for more than just 1 year. Which, although Rose isn't doing too bad. 15 points. Only 1.7 assists, though. And I know that's... Okay, so Fry is expiring. Yeah, but you can still take him. That would help them a little bit, I suppose. Okay, where's Rose's contract? Okay, Rose is only signed for this year, so they're both expiring. Yeah, well, you could honestly waive them both at that point. Gosh. And the other thing is that they've already said that Derrick Rose... Yeah, boy, they'd be trading so much. I mean, it's like, if you're trading Shumpert, Smith, Rose, Fry, and the Brooklyn pick, I mean, you're just trading a ton. So, I mean, like, maybe if you had to trade Smith and Rose and the Brooklyn pick for Bledsoe, you know, I mean, and then you just waive Rose and you let Smith kind of just rot. I don't know. Let's see. Smith's contract is up. I think the Cavs are just waiting for IT to come back. Well, okay, and that's the other thing. You know, it's the fact that they still have Isaiah Thomas on the roster. But again, he's unrestricted as well. So, I mean, after this season, he's probably out. Yeah, J.R. Smith is signed through 2019-20, so he's got an extra year under contract. And he's paid more than Bledsoe, too. But, you know, and that's the other thing. They could just be waiting for him as well. Has anybody seen? I gotta have to look it up. Then give Brooklyn pick back to the Nets and get D'Lo. No. You keep that Brooklyn pick, and again, you use that pick as bait to get you the #1 overall pick or to get more. You know, I wouldn't trade it back to Brooklyn for just D'Angelo. No, hell no. All right, let me just see who's starting. I have not seen, but I'm going to assume that it's the same Jackson, Booker. I can't check Twitter here, but Jackson, Booker, James, excuse me. I was like, what am I saying? James, Booker, Warren, Chris, and Chandler. We aren't that lucky. All right, so I also wanted to talk also about Bledsoe in regards to, he was fined for his comment. His tweet of, I don't want to be here, was finally, you know, although to be honest, like, I don't know exactly. It was fined $10,000, so big deal. I'm not exactly sure. Book can't start? You guys seen something I don't see? I can... I'm not exactly sure, like, what the fine was for in particular. No, Booker's starting. Okay, I've got the starting lineup right here. Mike James, Devin Booker, TJ Warren, Mike Hughes, Chris, Tyson Chandler. They're starting. And here, I'll even retweet it. It's the Yes Network. Retweet. Boom. All right. Yeah, no, Booker's playing. You think there were any talks with New York when we were up there? Probably. You got to imagine. I mean, Ryan McDonough was with the team. Well, yeah, but I mean, is that really a punishable thing? Plus, it came 2 weeks later. You said that 2 weeks ago. You said Troy and Book. Oh, start Troy at point, or start Book at point. I mean, I would take that. Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting Devin Booker to be playing the point guard for the last 2 years. I've been calling for it. I still think it's likely to happen at some point, and I certainly hope that it does. But I just okay. So you start Booker at the point guard. I would love that. I really would, and I think Troy would have a lot more shooting opportunities. The complaint that I wrote about after yesterday's game was the complaint that Eddie Johnson and Tom Chambers had, and that was Troy Daniels shot 4 for 5 from 3. Why didn't he take 10 threes? They weren't looking for him. They stopped looking for him. And then Devin Booker was never put in, was never got going. He finished with 9 points. He only scored under 10 points 3 times last year. And I even tweeted that out, that he followed us up, or at least I put it in my post. He followed us up with 15, 19, and 15. So for some reason, he goes down. He kind of stays down for a couple games. Well, that's up to the point guard to get those guys, going. Mike James got 3 assists in 25 minutes, and yet he shot like 3 for 12 or something like that. I mean, it's just, Mike James is fun. He's fun to watch. He's not a good point guard. He's not a distributor. I mean, he's a shooting guard. And so then Tyler Ulis gets in, and sure, Ulis gets 7 dimes, which is perfect. But, let's see, James and Ulis just look for the bigs, doesn't look. Yeah, well, exactly. But Ulis can't score. Ulis is shooting 32 freaking percent. Mike James is a career 40% three-point shooter. Why the hell isn't he taking 8 or 10 threes a game? And then, and I've been calling him since they got him, Quentin Richardson. He's, oh, wait, Troy Daniels or Mike James? Troy Daniels is a 40% three-point shooter for his career. I mean, why isn't he taking a ton of threes? Let me get his stats real quick. And so, like, he had that hot hand. Oh, Mike James. Well, yeah, but Mike James just isn't, oh, thanks, doesn't matter, but, oops, I just hit came along. Yeah, I mean, right now, Troy Daniels is shooting 47% from 3. I mean, give me a break. Why the hell isn't he taking 3 shots a game? Shooting 47% from 3. Let's see, on the season totals, he's 16 of 34. So it's not a huge sample size, but, it's still just like, why hasn't that doubled in 10 games? Who's Colin Jackson a bust? I don't think he's a bust. Please please retweet. We're live on Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. Tell all your friends. Tell them, text them real quick. We're like, hey, join on in. Got a bunch of people. Got more than ever on YouTube right now. And then obviously we got a ton of you guys watching on Periscope and Twitter too. Thank you so much. What's going to happen with Mike James? I think they resign him. They need him. They need that other point guard. Unless for some reason they really just want to hand the reins over to Ulis, which is apparent. They're not jumping at. Just again, he's shooting 32% from the field. They resign him. No, I don't think he will be. They're just too deep at guard. People who handle Suns don't even watch him. No, Josh Jackson's not a bust. Anybody that says that, they're just not watching anything. And just, ask them to stop reading other people's tweets. Tell them to actually sit down and watch a game. He looks good. He's a good shooter, too. Let's get those stats up. Let's see. He's still... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Ulis. No, I'm a huge Ulis fan. Don't get me wrong. It's just... Obviously, they're not... he's shooting 32%, though. And when I say he shot last year, 43. I mean, it's a huge drop-off. Yeah, I mean, if you can average 25, 26... so right now, real quick, Josh Jackson's shooting 40% from the field, which is awfully low, but 36.7% from 3. He's 11 for 30. I mean, that's not a bad shooting percentage. His free throw percentage, I mean, this has to change. He's shooting 54.8% from the free throw line. I mean, give me a break. You're almost shooting just as good from outside as you are from the free throw line. I mean, that's just ridiculous. All these guys are too young and want to. Yeah, exactly. No, I don't disagree at all. I want Ulis to stay around. I think he'll be a good backup, but the guy's just got to be able to shoot. I just like, I want Brian 100%. I've been saying it for 2 years. I want him to be the point guard. Yeah, I don't actually watch the Suns. Just been nice. He absolutely has. Book was terrible. He had a horrible game. I actually did want to. So Booker, somebody said 25-26. Maybe that might get him in, but because of that clunker with scoring 9 points. His scoring average is down to 22. It was above 23. What I want to say it was 23.2, and it's now 22 on the dot. So, he's just got to. He can't have those 9-point games. But again, I don't know how much blame to put on Mike James. And let me just see how many minutes he played. He only played 26 minutes. He had only one personal foul. He did have 4 turnovers, but he only played 26 minutes. So obviously he just was not hot. But he also took 11 shots, and that which was his lowest of the season. I hope he does. But again, last year, the 3 games he scored below 10 points, he followed that game up with 15, 19, and 15. Well, okay, I tweeted last night. It might still be active if you guys didn't see it. I asked everybody, should the Suns change their starting lineup to Ulis? See, I said Ulis, Booker, Warren, Bender, and Chandler. And overwhelmingly, the answer was yes. But I mean, think about this. Again, he only played 26 minutes, which was a season low. But he also only took 11 shots, which was a season low. Prior, in terms of shots, 17, 19, 14, 16, 19, 19, 22, 15, 19. So obviously, if you're thinking mean, medium mode, his medium was 19. But his lowest yesterday was 11. It's like he should have taken 15 shots. Why not Bender? Bender can at least play D. His game score was 0.4. He was a negative 27 in the plus-minus, which is the second lowest behind opening night, where they lost by 48. And, again, last night they only lost by 17. So, I mean, he just was not in it. I wonder if he was just, they asked about fatigue, but Dudley, give me a break. What listed Booker, JJ Warren, Bender? Len is looking good. I'll tell you this. I will have a post out tomorrow about Alex Len. I think the Suns should trade Len, and I'll give you a bunch of reasons why. But I do think the Suns should trade Len. I think he's obviously playing decent. He's got a career high. I'm kind of giving away my posts, but he's going to get paid. He's averaging career high in points, 9.1, rebounds, 8.1, free throw percentage, 74.4, field goal percentage, 53. Free throw percentage at 74.4. So I mean, everything was career high across the board. He's only averaging 2.9 personal fouls. His blocks are strangely low, but it's weird. Rookie season in terms of blocks, he averaged 0.4, then 1.5, then 0.8, then 1.3, now 0.7. So for some reason, every other year it fluctuates. So next year I'll average 2. But again, it's only been 9 games, but he's also doing this off the bench, playing only 21.9 minutes. Len for Okafor. Both probably won't be on the current teams if there's no Woods there to lose. I don't think that Philadelphia would take that trade. I also, even though Len, too, is an unrestricted free agent, I wouldn't want to trade him for an unrestricted free agent. At that point, just keep Len. No, absolutely not, because Okafor is an unrestricted free agent. Thank you, Philadelphia. Philadelphia screwed that up. When, people talk about how, the Suns made a mistake by sending Bledsoe home and hurt his trade value. Yeah. Well, Philadelphia screwed Jahlil Okafor's trade value by saying that they weren't going to pick up his option, automatically making him an unrestricted free agent. They needed to trade him before that and let the other team make. Now, unless there's some sort of trade, rule that I'm unaware of, where if you trade somebody, then automatically their 5th year is not picked up or something like that. I don't know. But they're fake news. It might be real news in Detroit, but in Phoenix it's fake news. Suns don't want him, according to John Camadero. And fans don't want him. I don't have any idea why the Suns would want Reggie Jackson. He's the exact same player. He's the same age. He makes more money, and his contract is longer. Why the hell would you trade for him? I mean, Detroit would take that trade in a heartbeat, but the Suns would be stupid to take it. Brogdon started at 25. Okay. But, he'll be in his prime for 7 years. So, that's... I would still take him. Because he'd be a very good backup. He'd obviously back up Booker. And you'd expect that Troy Daniels would be around forever when you're shooting nearly 50% from beyond the arc. Why not keep Troy Daniels, honestly? And he's under contract till next year. It's small, but, with our roster full, when re-sign Mike who's going to get cut or traded if we don't trade Bled or Len by then? Len and Bled from Monroe and Maker. I don't want Greg Monroe, but I would take that. What's realistic trade value? Picks are probably the realistic trade value. And and again, I wonder if the Suns are trying to hold out for the Brooklyn pick. Like, I seriously wonder if they're just like, we don't think Isaiah Thomas. Maybe they've got inside information that Isaiah Thomas isn't going to. Yeah, but he's slow. He doesn't really fit what the Suns do. I would rather keep Len just based on how he's playing. And you know what? I read a tweet. I read a comment out loud a few moments ago. It was kind of a long one, and I read it out loud to try to remember it, and it's already spaced. 3 comments ago, if you can resend them, it was a little bit longer, but who would get cut? Who would get cut? Probably Derek Jones Jr. Honestly, if the Suns have to do that, and by that point they haven't traded Len or Chandler or Dudley or Bledsoe or somebody, probably Derek Jones Jr. He's really the only guy that's just not coming off the bench. I don't think he's not a two-way player anymore, so they can't send him down, and he's just not playing. So it's just, if he's not serving a purpose on the roster, they won't keep him. And I think he'd get picked up somewhere, but I just don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be, kept anywhere. Well, Jeremy, I was answering yours. What again? Picks. I do think no, you can't cut Dudley. He's making too much. You'd be screwed. You open up a roster spot, but then you don't have any cap space. So. I just think picks. I think they're probably trying to hold out for a pick. And I know they keep saying, we want a young star, and they would take one, an up-and-coming star. And again, maybe they could be holding up for a Jabari Parker, something like that. But, this year is kind of the one time where I really want them to get one more pick, especially because they're actually starting to do okay. If they can get one more first-round pick, I think it's 10 a year. It's $10 million. If they can just get one more pick this year, it gives them the opportunity to trade up if they don't have a top 5 pick. And so I would really love to roll the dice on Parker. Oh my gosh, that would just be so much fun. I would love to add him to the roster. But that's the thing is, yes, we need one more pick. The Suns need to be able to, and they need it for. Well, okay, Jeremy, I'll answer that in 1 second. I think they did it perfectly. They need the insurance to be able to trade up, and that's not Dudley, the trading for a pick. They need the insurance to be able to trade up. If they've got the 6th overall pick and they really want one of those top 5, you trade the 6th overall, you trade, say, the 8th overall if that's where Miami is, and maybe you have to trade the 15th overall or something like that, but you do it. You get one of those star players, and if they're 2nd or 3rd and they really want Doncic, then boom, you trade up. You trade your first, you trade your 2nd or 3rd pick. You trade the 8th pick, and you trade the 15th pick, and you go, I don't want 3 rookies anyway. I just want Doncic, and boom, now you've got yourself potentially the best player in the draft, and then certainly the best point guard. So if they can get one more first-round pick, and it's at least a low lottery, pick, then, and actually that reminds me, I meant to look up earlier with Miami. So Miami currently. Okay, so they're 44. So they're 1, 2, 3, 4, tied for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Miami's pick would currently transfer to Phoenix. It's currently the 8th, 9th, or 10th overall pick because it's tied with. And again, we're so early, but they're currently tied with Milwaukee and the Thunder. So it's currently 8th, 9th, or 10th. And even if Milwaukee and the Thunder get better, which we expect them to do, that means it's the 8th overall pick, which means it transfers because it's top 7 protected. So if the Suns have the 5th overall pick and the 7th overall pick, and they want the 3rd, I think you can pull that off. Do we get Miami's no? Yeah, we need no, we don't get it no matter what. It is top 7 protected, so it has to be 8th or lower. And right now, the best it can be is 8th. Unless they were to win the lottery or jump up. But if they stayed 8th overall and they didn't jump up, then that pick is automatically transferred to Phoenix, being the 8th overall. And so then again, if you can get the Brooklyn pick, which would be top 5, You know, or if you can get, you know, Denver's is kind of Denver is kind of mediocre right now. They're 5-5, so they would be at the moment tied for, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so they would be like 13, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in that range. That kind of mid-level lottery pick would be potentially enough to make that kind of a jump forward in the draft the Suns would want to do. So again, Brooklyn right now would be 5th. You're not going to get Chicago's. You're not going to get Atlanta's. You're not going to get Miami's. Certainly not Dallas or the Kings, although I don't think the Kings have... Oh, the Kings would have theirs. We didn't make some sort of a deal with Atlanta. Well, yeah, but shoot, you'd have to give up Booker. Denver, or the Thunder's going to get... So really, right now, if the Suns are going to get a first-round pick that will guarantee to be a mid-lottery, at least, they need to get Denver's first-round pick or the Brooklyn pick. That's it. Those are their two options. Everybody else, they're going to, you know, the Bucks are going to get better. Cleveland's going to get better. Chicago, there's no way they give it up. They're rebuilding. The Miami Heat don't need him. But, oh, I would take Dennis. You're talking about Dennis Smith? Sacramento? Yeah, but I don't know why they would trade him, you know. Unless it's like draft day and they're able to get Luka Doncic, or they don't want Luka Doncic because they've got Dennis Smith. Then, you know, now you've got some. Dennis Smith was, I'm thinking of the right guy, right? Dennis. Yeah, I totally am. Correct? Oh, no, it's Dallas. Excuse me. Dallas. Either way. Okay, so Dallas. So that would be one of those things where if the Suns are close to Dallas and whatever, let's say get number 1, and they're happy with Dennis Smith Jr., and then they don't need a Luka Doncic, then that's when the Suns can then, if they have an extra draft pick somewhere, you know, they can trade, say, the 3rd overall pick, and then the 8th overall pick, and the 13th overall pick, or that kind of thing. And now Dallas can really rebuild kind of quick. Suns get their point guard, you know, and then Dallas can get... Oh, Schroeder? Oh, no. Why would you... Dennis Schroeder? Oh. How old is he? Somebody had mentioned him in the past, too. You know, again, you're just... Oh, he's 24... Gosh, you know, I could be just wrong with adjustment. Well, no, he's 24. I could just be wrong. I've just never been a fan of Schroeder. And I'm not going to lie. There could be, like, an issue. It could be his hair. I hate his hair. But I just don't think he's that great. I think he's just... I'm pulling up his stats real quick and just see if I'm fooling myself. I just think he's just an average point guard. Schnikes is averaging 22.5 points this year. Okay, so, I mean, it's definitely gotten better. 3, 10, 11, 17. So he was average. Okay, so, I mean, I haven't been wrong. He was average. Last year, 17.9, 6.3. This year, 22.5, 6.6. So he's playing at an Eric Bledsoe clip. His shooting percent... Okay, now here's the problem. Elfrid Payton, he's younger, and I would take him if we're not trading up a draft pick. If we're not trading a draft pick to get him. I hate Payton's hair, too. But here's my problem with Dennis Schroeder. He reminds me too much of Eric Bledsoe, and I think that's the problem that the Suns have. The problem Eric Bledsoe had on the Suns, the problem Mike James has on the Suns, is that they're just not true distributors. And the problem that Tyler Ulis has with the Suns, he is a true distributor. He's just too small to score. The Suns need a guy who can score and dish. Now, they don't necessarily need a guy like Schroeder to average 22.5 points, which obviously Eric Bledsoe could do as well. Even if the guy averaged 15, but if he was dishing out 15 and 9 or 15 and 10, you're presuming at that point that Devin Booker is going to average 25, which he needs to do. TJ Warren's going to average 22. And then you don't need, Lonzo Ball, Luka Doncic again. I mean, those kinds of guys that can definitely pass the ball. And so I'm looking at, now, to be fair to Schroeder, his assist averages have gone up every year. 1.9, 4.1, 4.4, 6.3, 6.6. Same as the scoring. 3.7, 10, 11, 17.9, 22.5. You know, so if he can be at 22.5 and 9, you know, 22.5 and 10, now you're talking about Kevin Johnson. And now you're talking about a hell of a player. And he is only 24. So he's 3 years younger than Book. Excuse me, not Book. He's 3 years younger than Bledsoe. And I'm trying to just scroll down real quick. He's under contract until 2021. and his contract would be super manageable. So he signed that before the cap went up. It maxes out at 15 point. Oh, it's 15.5 across the board. So it's 15.5 across the board. So, okay, maybe I would like that, but I want to see a kid that can dish. That's what I want. So again, if he can average up to 8, let's say he maxed out at 22.5 points a game and 8 assists, that'd be great. He's also a 39% three-point shooter this year. But here's the thing. You're going to have to give up more. And I'm not giving up a draft pick and Eric Bledsoe. After watching Fox play against the Suns, it reminded me of Westbrook's rookie charge on him. And yeah, and De'Aaron Fox, when I was saying Dennis Smith, it was De'Aaron Fox that had in my mind. By the way, we got 2 minutes left, and I apologize. I do have to get out at 7 o'clock. So, yeah, maybe shorter, but you're going to have to give something up because, look, why would Atlanta be all hell-bent or, excited to trade Schroeder, especially for someone who's 3 years older? I don't know if he wants to run point. At this point, I wouldn't give him the option. I'd be like, hey, we are not going to re-sign Mike James. Tyler Ulis is not good enough to run the squad. We're not going to trade for a point guard. We want you to run point, for the next 60 games. And I'm saying, like, after Mike James is, if they decide not to re-sign James. I'll be like, hey, you're running point for 60 games. Go out there. I stand by, and I'm going to pull this up, and I got to run. But I stand by his rookie year. Well, that would be a lineup where maybe you could actually put Josh Jackson at the 2. Because Josh Jackson can play the 2 and he can certainly guard it. Or, hell, even Troy Daniels, because he's going to be able to shoot when you got 2 great shooters in the backcourt. But Devin Booker is an underrated passer. I'm pulling up his rookie stats real quick. When Devin Booker had a run point the last quarter of the year when both Bledsoe and Knight were out, he had, 7 assists, 10 assists, 6, a bunch of 2s and 1s, but 6, 9, 1, 5, 11, 6, 3, 7, 2, 7, 4, 4, 5, 4, 7, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2. He wasn't doing great, but he had 2 10-plus assist games. And let me just check Eric Bledsoe. This is 15-16. If I recall, he had just as many double-digit assist games as Bledsoe did. And Bledsoe only played 31 games. I'm going to give him that. But Bledsoe had 1, 2. Yeah, they both. Devin Booker had, I hope so. Devin Booker had 2 double-digit assists games in his rookie season. The same number of assist games that admittedly hurt. Why can't I think of his name? Eric Bledsoe had. So he's just an underrated point guard. I would absolutely have him. So, all right, it's 7 o'clock, and I hate to just kind of end abruptly, but I was not paying attention to the clock. I really should. I usually don't have to, cut off cold. Booker's never had a triple-double, but I guarantee you he has one, at least one, especially if he has to run point at all. I do normally not have to cut so cold, but I have something in particular that I have to be at. Not a problem, man. You guys, I love you. I do this for you. I cannot wait to do this again. I look forward to this every week, and I always hope for some breaking news because I'll have to have a special edition show. We will definitely have a show the night that Eric Bledsoe is traded. I won't be able to, at least not most of it. I have something I absolutely have to attend. Thank you, man. Thank you. And I actually left 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually left 4 topics on the board here, so I'll have plenty to talk about next time. So, unless you guys know something I don't, I'll be back next Monday, 6 p.m. Arizona time on Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. We are still live on YouTube right now. We got a bunch of people watching. I love you guys. I love this all so much. This is so much fun. I do this for you. Let's go, Suns. They're going to beat the Nets tonight. They're going to be back at 500. It's going to be a thing. Have a good night.